soldier the size of an insect. The ultimate secret weapon.
Scott, you're different. Be skillful, agile, fast. I need you to be the Ant-Man.
Makes sense.
Oh my God! Awesome.
The suit has power. You have to learn how to control it. When you're small, you have superhuman strength. You're like a bullet.
You tried to hide your suit from me. Now, it's gonna blow up in your face. Pick on someone your own size. There's no reason to be scared.
Oh, no, Daddy don't get scared.
Really?
How'd you do that, bro?
Look at your shoulder.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So new Ant-Man trailer, so this is going to be a breakdown of that. Just a reminder, the movie's coming out July 17th. That's the week after Comic-Con. So there's probably going to be a bunch more Ant-Man footage that's coming in the next couple weeks. And the reason that this movie is a big deal, not only because it's the official ending of Phase 2, but it's also the beginning of like the next new Avenger. Even though the story is all about Scott Lang's redemption, I mean, there's a lot of Hope Van Dyne in there that I'll talk about in a second. But it's the idea that the average person could become an Avenger, you know, like break through to like top tier A-list. It's also going to widen the scope of the types of stories that Marvel can tell in these bigger Avengers films, namely heist stories, because that's what this movie is. Ant-Man, in the context of the way his powers work compared to the other Avengers, would be more of like a point man. You know, you send him in to scope stuff out. We even see him traveling through circuitry in the movie. That's what all these electrical charges are. Like he's traveling through electrical circuits. If you send in someone like the Vision, you know, he'll just like phase right through stuff. Thor would just smash his way through, just like the Hulk. Ant-Man is someone you use for more delicate procedures. The film itself is a bigger risk than Marvel has taken before, just because the characters are so odd. They're, you know, so different than like its typical A-list Avenger films. Like you look at Chris Evans, you know, Mr. Dorito here, he looks like a hero. Scott Lang definitely does not look like a hero. Evangeline Lilly looks like way more of a hero than Paul Rudd does in the film. She's like the stick to Scott Lang's Daredevil. What hasn't really come across in the last couple of trailers they put forward is that Scott Lang really only steals to support his daughter. He's estranged from her mother, but he still loves his daughter so much, you know, so he steals to support her. In the comics, it's because she was sick. She needed money for doctors. So it's not like he's stealing because he's a dirtbag, although he is a little bit of a dirtbag. One of the reasons I think they chose Michael Douglas, though, you know, in a kind of a twist, is because of the characterizations of Hank Pym being not such a nice guy in the comics, and the types of characters that Michael Douglas has played. Like, you know, Gordon Gekko from Wall Street, very evil character. Gordon Gekko actually would be a pretty good Marvel villain. He would be like Kingpin's financial advisor. The trailers seem to have been holding back on that quite a bit, because he's like, hey, I need you to go into a place and steal some stuff. Obviously, the real villain of the film is Darren Cross, played by Corey Stoll here. But, you know, just because they're not a villain doesn't mean they're not bad people. So don't be surprised if Hank Pym comes off as kind of a dick in the film. I mean, that's kind of the point. It'll help make Scott Lang a little more sympathetic. We also get a better shot of Michael Pena in the film too. I mean, he's a security guard. We saw him in an earlier trailer working inside Pymtech. The movie itself is going to be pretty self-contained, you know, in the same way that like Thor movies are self-contained. You know, they deal with really big concepts, but this is a much smaller film, much more intimate. For those asking though, you know, it will reference other things in Marvel Phase 3, like it will reference other movies. And you know, there's even rumors that they're going to reference Spider-Man in the film. I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Most of the story will build thematically on what's going on in the Marvel universe, like in the timeline right now, in the wake of Age of Ultron. In case it hasn't been said, this movie does pick up after Age of Ultron. Marvel films are getting ready to do that, where they start jumping around to the timeline a little bit. Like Thor 3 is supposed to pick up relatively closely to where Captain America 3 picks up. Usually the timeline moves sequentially. So you remember when, like, you know, Thor the Dark World came out 6 months after Captain America Winter Soldier. In the timeline, that was like 6 months. Marvel's getting to a place where it's going to be releasing 3 films a year, you know, maybe even more than that in future years. So they will get a little wonky with the timeline. I know I said I was going to do a Wasp video, so that's probably going to happen this week, but, you know, be sure to subscribe to get that. I'm also going to be talking about Evangeline Lilly's character and how I think that she's going to be the Wasp of the Marvel Universe. What they've done with the Yellow Jacket in this character is given that to the villain Darren Cross, so Yellow Jacket just an outright villain. Hank Pym was Yellow Jacket in the comics. You know, for a brief period, he was evil. He went a little crazy. They're making it way easier to follow in the film, so don't worry about that. What I think will happen is they'll just repurpose the Yellow Jacket suit, and Hope Van Dyne will wear it. There are a couple toys that have spoiled a few things about Hank Pym's character in the movie. I'm not going to talk about it here just because the movie is so close to coming out anyway. But if you guys know what I'm talking about and you want to talk about it in the comics, just please use spoiler tags. They're all like really little things that play on Hank Pym's characterizations in the comics over the years. For the most part, he's like a crazier, insane version of Tony Stark. I actually just did a video about his history in the comics, so I'll add a link for that in the description. So I believe I said I was also working on a Batman video. That's probably going to be the video that I do next, and then I'll just push my Flash video tomorrow. But if there's any special Arrow bonus videos that you guys want this week, just let me know, and I'll do it after my Flash stuff. While you guys wait for that stuff to drop, you can click here to learn all about Hank Pym's history in the comics, and you can click here for some of the summer TV shows that I'm going to be doing stuff for. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tomorrow.